I think I heard you say in one of your videos that you travel, I think, is it maybe like 3 to 4 hours for a sparring partner? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Or-
that is, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So what is it that's kind of unique about him compared to, is it like the level, or maybe like he's a cool guy who's not really egotistical, or is it that kind of,
it's the level. So I live on an island about, it's not even too far from Vancouver, but it's just that we're on an island, so I have to take a ferry.
okay.
And there's good talent on the island, but nobody who can push me, nobody who's at my skill level. So the only other guy that I know in the province who, starting, I think it was in 2014, I was looking for a really high-level sparring partner, and it's Josh Jauncey, who is the #1 contender for the glory title at lightweight.
Okay.
And yeah, we just sort of recognized in one another that we needed some very high-level fighters around our weight class. He's one above me, but that doesn't make a big difference. And we just, yeah, aside from traveling over to Holland or somewhere else, it was very hard to get that high level sparring. So we just both make the commitment to, when I'm in fight camp and I need the rounds, I go to him, and when he needs to come to me, he does that. And we just come over, and it's a lot of time for very, very minimal rounds. We both have the same mindset. We go, you know what, we're training for a 3-round fight. Let's do 5 rounds. 5 rounds is all we need. So we do the whole trek across, which, yeah, ends up taking somewhere between, it takes me about 40 minutes to drive to the ferry. You have to hang around there. It takes about an hour and a half to hour and 40 minutes on the ferry. And then you got to get to his gym. And there's just so much time. Then you got to come back. And it's all for 5 rounds of sparring. When you warm up and you do everything, it's probably more like an hour and 20-minute session. But really, it's 15 minutes of sparring. But you need the good rounds, and we don't do it often in fight camp. We'll see each other 4 to 6 times in a fight camp. So it's just really when we're at the end and we're trying to dial everything in and we're feeling sharp, and we can just push each other that extra little bit. And sometimes it's a sacrifice you have to make.
Okay, cool. And from what I understand, you're an advocate of sometimes a bit more intense sparring than you sometimes see. Okay.
Yeah, well, the big thing, same thing that Josh often says when he explains to people what we're doing, because a lot of people will watch us and be like, whoa, you guys are going hard.
Okay.
And you guys are really trying to hurt each other. And he goes, well, no, the thing you have to recognize about high-level fighters banging it out is we both have amazing defense. And that's the big thing. If you have 2 guys who are intermediate, they have good offense, but their defense might not be that great. So then they end up clipping each other more. Whereas with Josh and I, we're throwing hard, we're targeting the head, but we have the ability at the last second to pull shots, maybe 10, 20% power off them if needed. It's still a hard shot, but it's still pulled. And most of the time we can block them. There's some degree of evasion or blocking. So in all the rounds we've done, we started in 2014, and we've put in a lot of hard rounds together. And I don't think either of us have ever left concussed. We've never knocked each other down, even though we're going hard. And I am a big advocate for minimizing brain damage and minimizing, just trauma to the head. But when you are preparing for a full fight, you do have to do a couple sessions where you are basically recreating that fight. And you want to minimize it, yes. So that's why we do minimal rounds and minimal times during fight camp where we actually meet up. And then aside from that, I do all the sparring with my other partners who, we do a more controlled pace, a more methodical pace, more focused on timing and technique.